Good evening, good evening, and welcome to Chat It Up with True Silver. I'm your host, True Silver, and today we're going to be talking about from a woman's perspective. I have on the panel with me Sam, Baby Doll, and DRH. And re- really, you said that. Forgive me for that part. And we're just going to be talking about what everybody is talking about, Will Smith. But we don't want to focus on Will Smith. We want to focus on how Jada could have handled it from a woman's perspective. We all saw how he started to laugh, and we cannot say that he was not laughing. He started to laugh, and he saw that she was in pain, and he reacted. So from that moment, do you think that Jada could have prevented him from actually going all the way up the stage and slapping Chris? Could she have done something before that? And is she going to take accountability for, every time Will has had an outburst, it's off the reaction of something Jada has done? Is this affecting his brand? So how could from a woman's perspective, how could we have dealt with this differently? Um, do you want to put some input into it, ladies?
Well,
I think
We're listening. Okay, nobody wants to speak.
Oh no, I feel like Jada had an opportunity where she could have um controlled the situation. When you are a couple, you look at each other as when things are not right. And I think that Jada could have talked to Will, if nothing else, just try to reason with him to tell him, but this is not the appropriate place. Just let it go. At least for right now. But for
Right.
her to sit there and hold her head down pretty much like she was in shame, I guess waiting for Will to jump up and do something, I just don't get that.
and her reaction sparked him anyway.
yeah.
He
Right.
looked at her. Her reaction. I mean, everybody. As soon as Chris said that, the camera, spanned on her, and you could see that she didn't like what he said.
Right.
And Will reacted again, just like it was said. She could have said, "Hey, honey, not right now. I get it." And she could have gave him that kiss that she gave him right before he got the award, just to calm him down.
Right. Because I
Because
rather go ahead.
Because at the first, everybody was laughing. Even when Chris Rock came out with the joke about the GI Joe, I mean, they was still everybody was giggling, laughing, smiling, smirking. It was no problem. But I think the more that Chris was more or less enticing about the joke as being a comedian, it became more of a offensive toward Jada.
And let's be real. She's, they said that she talked about it, about her alopecia, but who really watches Red Table Talk anymore? So, and my thing is, it's a blessing because I look at it as a blessing. She could have used this moment to bring to light about alopecia, and she's
Mm-hmm.
blessed that she has the head to be able to rock a shaved head. The different styles that Jada has rocked, she did it well. And let's be real on this one. Demi Moore is not ugly, so to be called G.I. Jane is that an insult?
I didn't think it
No.
was because I don't even think Chris even knew she even probably had alopecia.
Right,
You
right. That's
know.
what I'm saying because she didn't talk about it enough.
Yeah, and when he addressed her, he said, "I love you, Jada," and he was like just making a comment, like he's waiting to see the next GI Jane come out. I didn't think there was anything wrong with it, but I think she could have controlled Will, even if she had reached out and touched him to hold him back to keep him from approaching the stage. I didn't actually see what happened or
Well,
when he
later to
looked
that,
at her. But I know that he was laughing, and then next thing I knew, he got up. But I didn't see what happened in between. If he turned and looked at her, and she rolled his eyes when he was looking at her. But I thought all that kind of transpired afterwards. I didn't see that part.
Yeah, she did do a like a eye roll, and that's when he responded because he did start to laugh. even if it was uncomfortable, he responded like everybody else was until he saw her disposition, her body language changed. And so in that moment too, when he looked to get up, I just think she could have like moved a hand, pulled him down. You know, I'd rather have you talk about me stopping you, trying to stop you, because I know you won't going to knock me down and embarrass me. So I'd rather had us tussle and you be wondering what was going on, like the Jay-Z in that elevator moment when Solange was kicking his butt. I just think I'd rather have that and you know, talking about it than me doing that. And now he's, you know, they're asking for that Oscar back. So that moment, it should have been about Will, and the movie end up to be about basically him defending Jada, and it, you know,
because it was a beautiful event. It was a beautiful event until that moment. And what's so bad about G.I. Jane? I thought it was a pretty decent movie.
And Demi was pretty, and that haircut was, you know, she could rock it.
Absolutely. So what's wrong with Jada playing G.I. Jane 2? What was wrong with that?
We was lost on that. Everybody was like, "What you mean?" We was lost. So you know, it just blew up the situation to where, you know, I was like, you can't get mad every time. Yeah, you've been the butt of Chris Rock jokes, but he couldn't have no material to go on if you was not putting your business out there. Every time that he has joked on, it's been Jada putting it out there, not Will. So
let's keep it real. Keep it real. He should. If you in the presence of a comedian, keep your butt in the back row. You know what they say. If you're in a comedian's space, you better be in the back row, because they're gonna. I mean, that's a joke. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know. Oh my God, that was so crazy.
Yeah. And so so you knew it was gonna come too. I mean, you knew they was going to clown you in some aspect. That's what they've been doing. The Oscars have been throwing out jokes. I mean, Taji was, I don't like to mispronounce the name, but she was clowning and say, "Hey, we'll call her," and that part was funny. But when it came on to her, she's being sensitive, which alopecia she has a right to be. But in that same token, you can't say protect me, I'm the queen, and you're not doing nothing for your king. And I think that's the perspective I'm talking on.
What if it had been one of those female comedians that had said something? What would he have done then?
Oh yeah,
because they were all comedians that was hosting the show.
Right.
Yeah, right. Pretty much.
Or clowning. I mean, the Oscars have always thrown jokes in there somewhere. And so I was like, yeah, I'm just looking at that. And I was like, we're beating up Will, but when can we hold Jada accountable for her? You're blessed to have that. Everything you've gotten after Set It Off and Jakes and Lyrics is being behind the Smith being behind your name. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but you have gotten more chances to try something. And if it's kind of like you're bitter because your career has not grown in that aspect. And, maybe, baby, you just need canceling.
Well, she has had canceling. She's had canceling years back, when it first hit the scene about both of them, having swinging, this swinging thing, back in the day. But with Jada has always been low budget. I just have to say it like that. She's always been low budget. And so she was never one of the top celebrities, quote, status individuals. She never was. And so for her to ride in the gravy train now, as I look, I'm not saying that she was not successful in what she did, but I'm just saying she's not a successful household name that someone can say, oh yeah, Jada Pinkett. Yeah, we know Jada through Will Smith at the most, not just for her, for what she has done and accomplished over her own.
Right.
So a lot of that falls back on a whole lot of it shines the light from him to her.
And she wouldn't have been able to transition. We would have known her in our realm. Because Jason Lyrics, right. So the transition of the way we know you, that says volumes too. And so it's like she wants to be equal, but it's not.
Right.
It's not.
If you start talking about generations of people, Will Smith can go back to any generation you could from his era to up to now, and people know about Will Smith. If you did the same type of ballot and try to put Jada, people are like, who is Jada Pinkett? They don't know who she is.
Absolutely, yeah.
They couldn't tell you. So that tells you why, like, as they said this morning, Will Smith is Hollywood. Not just you work in Hollywood, you are known around the world as Hollywood. And
Right.
where you go, you are known that way. You carry the bar just that high.
And see,
You made it there.
that's why I think that she should have protected him. You can't keep allowing him to take the. Every time we have seen Will Smith cry, it's behind the shenanigans of Jada stuff. When does he have? When has he cried on his, like, I ain't gonna say on his own, but you know, for I just can't name it. Every time I seen him have the ugly face and do the memes, it's behind Jada. You know, and Jada,
Right. Yeah.
you know, she doesn't show her emotions. But I said, baby, right about now, you need to show him, or you need to do something to fix this, because this man is out here taking bullets. It's almost
Yes.
like
For her.
right.
And
Right.
he's too high up in the sky now for his career to start falling downhill. Because I tell you, when they snatch that card from you, it's hard to walk up that ladder again.
Right.
It's real hard.
Right.
Yeah.
And
So yeah, he don't need that in his life. Not right now.
Well, unfortunately, it has happened, and now we've got to see what's going to happen. I truly feel, based on everything that we're talking about and we said, that the way I hold him responsible is he didn't come out of his role, basically.
right. From the
He was still stuck in his role,
right.
for the
But he used that as
Oscar
his
that he
excuse,
won.
though.
Yeah, he didn't come out of his role for the Oscar that he won, and he should have.
Yeah.
And then, of course, he consistently, like you saying, protecting Jada, and she didn't step up to the plate to protect her man. You know, it's twofold, even though I still say she should have, because behind every good man is a good woman, and she should have been that good woman last night.
Right. And she should have kept the focus on what they were there for.
Absolutely.
You know? Right.
Yeah,
and at that time she could have came back and and talked about her alopecia later. But yeah,
absolutely.
I just don't see how. And how do how does she fix this going forth? Are you going to stay? Is she staying quiet? Because the last time I checked, she was still quiet. And I need to find
What
out.
can she say? What can she say or do at this point? The damage is done. Look at the millions of people
You
who
know what?
watch the Oscars.
You're baby girl, you are so right. Because look, having no one said anything about how Jada has come up and apologized, or even took into consideration of what happened last night. Everybody's focusing on Will and his behavior and his
Right.
actions, but
Right.
no one has said to Jada, since everything was targeted to her, why haven't
Right.
she came up and said anything?
Right.
But see, this is what I was saying. Remember when she was messing around with August Alsina? She spoke on that. She got bold in my entanglement. She said that, and so now you
She
spoke
just
on that, but
lazy.
you can't say nothing that we can understand of being alopecia. That is something we could have understood. But cheating, and you
It's
let him
lazy.
take the fall on that part.
It's lazy.
Yeah. See, so somebody has said that she has a Jezebel spirit. I was like,
Oh,
wow, that's deep. That's deep. You know.
all right, baby doll. What would you say about that?
She said, "Don't be putting that on her."
that no, she know about it. I mean, as in that text. You know what I mean? Just that text.
But that's
My God.
powerful.
She can elaborate on that really heavy. That's crazy. Yeah,
Right.
that's very powerful.
And I was like, and how much is what is hurting her so much that nothing can fill that? Because it's a void that's just, you're gonna take him down. I was like, ugh. And he's gonna allow it, because I think he said at one time that he didn't want to get another divorce. And so I was
Oh, I
like,
don't know.
yeah, see, so
Well, I know
I'm
what
saying,
I hope he don't have to go through no mudslinging situation just to stay with some woman. I hope not.
He got a lot to lose.
I mean,
Yes, yeah, you're right now.
I hope they got a prenup.
She
I
ain't
do
helping his
too.
career none.
And I don't think they do.
I don't think that, and then they're in California. So, but I don't even think divorce is in the card. She's going down. They go, if I think he'll be able to salvage it, but if it went down like the Titanic, this will be an ugly reflection on. That would be another butt of jokes. And yeah, so when Chris does his comic tour that's coming up, this is all material that he's going to be able to use.
Well, he
And you
definitely
can't get
won't be
mad
able
at
to
that.
well, he definitely won't be able to let him in the house, in the room. That's for sure. They can't come. They
No, you're
definitely
right.
can't have an invitation.
But I think
Yeah.
this here, what has happened is really going to put a lot of comedians in check to be careful on things that they say and who they say, or say things to people in the audience. It's really going to, I think it will change how they do things.
But like they said, if this been any other comedian, or if it wasn't the Oscars, do you think Will would have really walked up on and hit somebody? And he did it open hand. Who hits open hand? That baffled me right there. I was like, open handed?
And then the
Okay,
comment was
y'all.
also made too. If it had been anyone else that walked in there and slapped him, they would have escorted them right on out of the
Out of
Oscars.
absolutely.
But they
All
did
right,
it
y'all. Let's just put
anyway.
it on COVID. Let's just put it on COVID.
All right, we can do that.
I was like, but she caught up in her feelings. That COVID hit. She had a whole year to get. I ain't gonna say a whole year to get it together, but yeah, if you weren't feeling right that night, I just think maybe you should have stayed home. We could have talked
Should have
about that.
stayed home.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'd rather talk about
Absolutely.
that because you could speculate.
Well,
They having
Will,
problems
Will said
again.
he will do anything. He will protect his family. So maybe he's still in that role, that role he was acting out as the Williams father, because they said he was a very violent man.
Well, that's what I was telling you. He's stuck in his role. He was
Yeah,
stuck in his role that night. You know
he
what I
hasn't
mean?
de-escalated yet.
Yeah.
And
He
the other
hasn't
thing
been
I like,
desensitized.
he hasn't been what desensitized.
Yeah, he hasn't been desensitized from the movie yet, so he's still
Right,
feeling it.
right. He's
Yeah,
stuck, girl. He cannot move beyond being the father of those girls in his actual emotional setting. He hasn't moved. He's still there.
and then the other thing I wanted to bring to light of focus, it was how the men like Tyler and Denzel came to his aid.
Mm.
We don't focus on that enough. We just focus on Will slapping Chris, but to me, we saw a lot of lessons. Like I said, how from a female's perspective could we kind of bring the light off of that before it escalated to that moment, and then after how Tyler and Denzel was there and
Denzel.
just kind of comforted him and stuff. Um, he was wrong, and we can't change that part, but to give him words and saying we're still beside you, and the words that Denzel gave him was even powerful, so he has to remember that he used to remember all those things coming up, and it just makes me kind of disappoints me that Jada is the crumbling factor of all this, because I'm calling it like I see it.
Well, even P. Diddy tried to soften the blow by not being too harsh when he said, "Hey, we're gonna talk about this and fix this like family and friends do, over in the whatever room they were going to." You know what I mean?
Right,
He tried to be soften the blow by
right,
saying that while he was on stage, because he came out after that, didn't he?
yeah,
Right,
yeah.
right, right. And
So
how could you do that knowing all the people, the caliber of people in that room? That was,
right,
I'm just saying, put it back on him for a minute. That was very disrespectful.
right,
The
right.
caliber of people in that room, from Denzel, Tyler, all of those people. How do you do that?
And to see how long it took him to get an Oscar, because he was nominated for Ali, I think,
Yeah,
if I'm not correct, if I'm not mistaken. And then this is the one you get it for, and that moment was this overshadowed, and
right.
now it might be a recall on it, and we can't get mad. We don't get second chances. We have to act right at all times, and
That's
we
right.
hate it, but we know it. And you did the
Right.
game long enough. That's why, again, I'm beating up at her. Many
Yeah.
women would want to be in her positions, many
Right.
women. And
Right.
this is how it's like she's ungrateful that she doesn't appreciate, or she doesn't, her love language. Which one is it? I mean,
Yeah, I
she needs
get
to
it.
speak
Yeah.
up and saying, she said she was hurting, but baby, you can't keep doing this, because hey, I don't know. I'm disappointed in her, because she can get up on Red Table Talk and speak her mind, and you're not going to come for her, and now she's quiet. Where
Well, I imagine everybody around her is giving her advice on what to do, how to do it, and all of that. But from a woman's perspective, starting with us and those who've already spoken out, she just did not protect her man.
Yeah.
She just did it.
Right.
She just did it. So, what happens next?
Right. How do you? Yeah. Um. There's no, what's her name? What's Kerry Washington on? What's that movie, that show she used to be on, the where she fixed people
Scandal.
problems? Scandal.
Scandal.
Who fixes this? Who can? How do you bounce back from this? What groveling is he gonna have to do to bounce back? And is she gonna be there groveling beside him? You
I
know?
guess they need Carrie back as the gladiator
Yeah.
to show them what to do, girl.
Yeah. I was like,
Because that's crazy. You're right.
yeah. So
That's really crazy. Oh,
Will
I
was
wonder how their kids felt about that. How did their? I mean, I know that's another story. That's another show. But anyway,
I was like, we leave kids alone. We're leaving kids alone.
no. I just wonder how they felt about it.
Huh? Well, I'm surprised. I'm surprised. Well, we know the boy doesn't talk, but I'm surprised. I wonder if this is going to be talked about on Red Table Talk. I wonder.
I
You
doubt
know,
it.
you know, yeah. Or is that the end of Red Table Talk?
Ooh,
Because punishment is coming. You know,
yeah.
why he's got to take the brunt of it the whole time?
And I thought Chris Rock looked so good last night. He
Yes.
looked so good.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh man, the show was just a wonderful show. It was beautiful. I don't know how they watched the Oscars, but the setting, the ambiance, everything was just perfect. Mm.
Yeah.
The diversity in so many ways. I mean, it was good.
Yeah,
The
it
way they
was.
spoke, the way they spoke about it, it was just perfect.
And then the facial, if you go back and look at people's faces when it was happening, they're like, I can't believe it. And the actress that was behind Will,
Yeah.
to keep her
Oh
face as
yes,
stoic as
yes,
it was, I was like,
yes,
whoa, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
She was looking at him like, what?
yeah.
Did
I was
that
like,
just happen?
yeah.
I
And
had to
then
replay it. When I saw it, I was like, wait a minute, let me go back. I had to go back and rewind and look at it again because it didn't
yeah,
seem real.
yeah, yeah.
With everything going on in the world today, we couldn't have a pleasant night.
Not one, not
Yeah.
one. Yeah. And so I was like, everybody's like, well, Will, this wasn't the time or place, and I just don't want to beat up on him. And there's enough people doing that part.
Yeah,
I want to beat up on her, and that's sad to say. But I was like, hey, somebody need to check it, And then they was like, well, you can't stop him. He was in the. But I was like, a woman knows how to set a man off and how to calm him down.
oh yeah,
And I just think she didn't utilize it. She made it all about her and her pain. And if you was in that much pain and you knew it was a celebration for him that night, and the Williams, then you probably should have stayed home. And I just got to reiterate that, you
yeah.
know.
I agree. I
Yeah.
agree.
So
Yeah. If the
nobody
least little
wants
thing can set you off like that, then you're
right,
right. You don't need to be in an adult's environment.
right. Because I went and looked back afterward when they were saying that she talked about it, and she was like, "How do I go from a lot of hair to no hair?" So now I'm thinking about how does he go from being on top of the world with his Oscar to having to give it back and still standing beside you. It reminds me of what's that Field, not Field, Doctor, is it Dr. Field? Dr. Field, when he asked that, is that your man? And the woman's like, yeah, that's my man. Are you sure? She's like, yeah, all of that is my man. You've seen it on TikTok. That's how I feel Will's been doing for Jada, not the other way around. She it's like if she could switch out and go back in time and switch out, she wouldn't be with Will. That's what's coming across. This is that's what's showing me now. It's like she has nothing. It's like I'm that hurt that I can't think about you. It's all about me. And maybe I'm missing some footage, but from the time that happened till when he was on the platform apologizing and crying, I didn't really see it. So I was like, how do we as women learn from this? What can we do better? Um, and stop. I'm not gonna say she was emotional because she was stoic, just a face. But how do we learn from this to do better? Because we don't get chances over and over again. We don't, you know. We're always going to be either the mad black woman, and I'm tired of that because we're not always that. They don't showcase the ones that's or we're too submissive of being walked over. It's never nothing besides Michelle Obama. But in that case, society was saying she looked too much like a man, and I thought that was wrong. She was a beautiful woman that set the standards. And
She knew that Chris Rock was a comedian. She should
right,
have shook it off.
right,
She could have
Yeah.
shook that off.
Yeah, that's true.
yeah. So
Just
like I
Wow.
said,
yeah.
I just think we need to just like they're coming around him. We need to say, hey, how can we handle it better? What can we do better? Where do we learn from this? You know,
And it's like you said, they have certain, I mean, you have certain body language
Right.
styles or messages that you have among one another. So she should have been very careful not to even make the gesture that she did, because I'm sure on their day-to-day living, when she do certain things set him off. So he responded on her reaction. So she shouldn't have done that. So how could we have done it? She done that better. She should have just calmly sat there and just had a conversation with him when she got home,
right,
because they know each other. They
right.
Yep.
know each other, and they know what would trigger those emotions. They know she shouldn't have done that. So what could she have done better? Not do that. But
Thank
it's
you.
too late. So now she
Right.
got to fix it. So now the question is, where do you go from here? That's the question.
And no matter how he would have handled it, I don't think she would have been happy. Because I just remember again going to the red table talk when he sat there and they talked about the entanglements, and he just
Hmm.
sat there like he was getting punched,
He
and she
did.
just kept throwing them punches, and I was
I
like,
saw it.
yeah, and that I hurt for him. I was like, really? I mean, to there's nothing could justify you doing that part, and I'm not going to even. But he he loved you so much that he came there and took it, and then like trying to make it seem like we have it together. We talked, and I was like, you talked about her messing around with a little boy. So I don't know. I was like, I just don't see. And then if it wasn't Jada, would he still be there? You know what I'm saying? To give a woman a chance to do this to you over and publicly. Every time it's been publicly with them. I mean, we know about when they was calling them swingers. We don't know if that's true. They didn't really address that part, but then when they was attacking them about their parenting styles. I mean, it's always been something that he always has to come to defend or speak
Yeah.
out on. And he's doing his job of doing that. But my thing is, why put him in that position? When do you learn not to put him in that position consistently?
Hmm.
Or you're tired of being the butt of jokes, but you keep giving ammunition for them to joke on you about. So how can and then I was like, can you really get mad at Chris since he was the deliverer of it? I mean, the Oscars wrote it, so who's the writing staff? Or
Well, I'm
did
not
he
even
write?
mad at Chris. I'm not
Oh
mad
no,
at
me either.
him.
Me either. But I'm just saying he got the slap. But I'm just saying, come on now, y'all been in the game long enough to know, did he write that? Or was it the writers? And they just reading it off
Or did
because
he
he
ad
wrote.
lib on that part? He could have ad libbed on that part.
Yeah, he could have.
Do you think? Do you
Uh-huh.
think he could have
I
ad
think he
libbed
ad labbed on the rest of the part. The rest of it, I think he was reading from the
on the prompt?
prompter, and then because he said, "Oh, that wasn't in the script." So yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But either
Well,
way you
ladies,
go, he's
go ahead.
either way you go, he's still a comedian, and
Right.
either way you go, regardless of what was said. I mean, the other two ladies, I mean, they told their jokes.
Yeah.
went around the
Right.
room and
Right.
did their thing.
Right.
Nobody took it personal, and if they did, they handled it well.
And she even laughed when Taji was saying, "Hey, Will," she was laughing. Yeah, she was laughing at the part. So I
It
was
was
like,
Also,
funny.
you know what? Everyone was laughing. That was the whole thing. Everybody was
right.
laughing.
Yeah, right.
So when it was directed at her, because even if she was like, if they would have said something and brought that old stuff back up, her face would have contorted. Long as it's not on her, her
Right,
faults can't be thrown in her face, but Will's can.
right.
And I don't think that's right. I really don't. And I was like, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. You're saying you want this, but you need to hold that 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 shield on him. It's like that picture of the lion when the lioness was in front of it, the lion's throat. That's
They
how she
talking
should
about
have been. You're supposed to protect that. You're the home. You're supposed to calm that savage beast down, and you didn't. And they was like, well, what could she really did? Girl, if you was at home, you would have stepped up in front of him and tried to block. You should have did it on
Mm-hmm.
that moment. He wouldn't have hit you. He
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't have hit you on that. Oh, that was straight to jail if he would have did that part. So we knew he wouldn't have did that. But
So he has apologized to Chris.
right. Oh, he
He
did. He
When?
has,
did.
yes,
Okay.
he
Okay.
has publicly apologized to Chris. They just showed it on TV,
Okay, that's good. But not doing
the
not
program.
doing the right. So I think and then like I said, for him to adhere to what people are saying and apply it. So who's talking to her? Oh,
So how is Chris taking it? I mean, we don't know yet, do we?
um, no.
Because they had an article on him and his what 7 sisters and siblings,
Mm-hmm.
7 siblings. I didn't read the entire article, but they weren't too happy about it.
Shouldn't have been. I would have been happy someone slapped my brother.
Thank you.
Girl, what you talking
Thank you.
about? We
Thank
need
you.
we need some sweatsuits on.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
In front of all these folks too. Oh
And thank
no.
you.
Oh
And that's something
no.
he's gonna be the butt of jokes. Just like when
Yeah.
he had the Pookie moment and he was high on the he still can't live that, but that's how we know Chris, when he had, yeah. I was like, and the rabbit, the little rat, I was like, yeah, yeah. So yeah, so I was like, he had to endure his time before he gets it. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm
Yeah.
disappointed.
I felt so
And
sorry for him though. Because
feel
walking
sorry
up
for
the
who?
stage, he was in shock still. He couldn't even guide the guests off the stage properly because he was just out of it. He was
Right.
still shocked, in a state of shock.
And he had to keep his face together to finish on with
And
the
that
show.
was hard to do because I could
Yeah.
see his hurt and his
Yeah.
pain.
Thank you. And they said that he was executive producer for one of those shows he had did. So they've been working together for a minute. And that's something that you could have went to the side and talked about. That's why I was saying Jada could have stopped that because it was
You know what? And this probably was not the first time that something has been brought up, not to this serious effect
right,
matter, because
right,
I can promise you, if they been that close, but like they were saying, this is not the first time they had a run in.
right.
This is not the first time, but by them working together, each other have said something, probably joking around by each other's wife. But for Will to take it out of content like he did this time, yeah, that was a little bit too far.
Right. That's
Oh
why I was
yeah.
like, she
The,
could have controlled
the
her.
one lady that they were just talking to on TV, she said she felt like Will was defending his woman, his wife, by doing what he did because
That
Chris
wasn't
was way
defending
out
him.
of line.
That was no serious matter at all. That was not even that serious. It really was not.
It
I mean,
wasn't.
Chris didn't say anything truly derogatory against
No.
her. He didn't make it seem like he would he was really targeting her to make something a big deal out of something like Will had pissed him off down the road and he would want to get him back. It
Right,
was You could tell it was none of that.
right.
Look,
It
he
was
might have been doing a promotion for it, getting us some more money, getting us
Thank
some more
you.
roles.
You could have played G.I. Jane too. Come on
You know what
now.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Somebody
Yeah.
listening. Ooh, we need
Yeah.
to call Jada.
And now we don't want to be bothered.
Cha-chang. I don't want her to be G.I. Jane too now, the way she acted.
Thank you. And I was like, you messing up the bag. You messing up the bag. He is trying to secure it. You fumbling the bag. Yeah.
Hmm
You
Yeah.
know, even though he praised everybody, from God, being able to be the dad, the husband, the son he is, and taking care of his family, his mom and everyone else. He did give those grateful moments, but your reaction was gonna downfall you. That's what's gonna hurt
Okay.
you.
Yeah.
And then,
Well.
then he had the audacity to say that he is being called to show love, to love people, but that was
See.
not love.
You should have
No.
turned the other
No.
cheek.
No. That was what you call that word? That was perpetrating right there. It's another word I'm trying to say, but he was just playing the role. He was still
Right,
stuck in the role. Okay.
right, right, right.
Because those words did not mean anything. I'm looking at him like, you know how we do, getting that head shake. Like, are you serious? Are
yeah,
you really serious to get up there in front of the world after you'd have done something, done what you've done, and now you're going to get up there and just act like
Supposed to be
nothing
representing
happened
love.
and
Y'all,
Not
talk
at
y'all,
about
all.
God and
y'all know
all that? Are
what?
you, girl? Please.
ain't that
They
what they
better, they
do
better
though?
leave that alone. They
Yeah,
they was afraid. They was afraid Kanye was gonna come in and say something crazy.
Girl,
Will,
stop.
they weren't expecting Will. They weren't expecting Will at all.
You know
yeah,
He
what I
was
mean?
being hypocritical.
Well,
He was
let's
being a
wait. We
hypocrite.
don't know. That might have been Kanye and Will's body. I don't know.
yeah, yeah.
Hint, joke. But I'm
But
just saying,
but
that's crazy.
that's what they always do. They want to bring God in after the fact.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
and that, yeah,
He should have
uh,
been praying and counting to 10 before he made that move.
yeah, yeah.
Like I told my daughter, I said, the judge would say, you did 25 steps. You had time to think about it.
Yeah, he had more. He had 10. He had 10, like count the 10 seconds. 1, 2. Yeah, you should
But
have saw
walking up
three.
there on that stage, he took how many
Mhm.
steps? He had time to think
Yeah,
about what he was going to do and change his
yeah,
mind.
Girl, I
but
said he pimped all the way to the stage.
There you
yeah,
go. That's what I'm
yeah.
saying.
Matter of fact,
That's what I'm saying.
matter of fact, he even dust himself off walking up there. He popped his collar almost.
Didn't he
Walk
though?
high stepping. Yes,
And his
sir.
chest got big when he sat down. He's like,
He
keep
sure
my right.
did.
And then did she say anything to like, baby, that's okay and stuff? Nothing. I
No.
didn't see nothing.
When he won that award, she gave him a kiss so he can go up on stage and get it. That's all.
By that time, he was embarrassed though. He was really
Yeah,
embarrassed by the
yeah.
time he did all that.
And now, yeah, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
See, like I said, I
I'm
didn't see
telling you, I
nothing.
couldn't believe it. I just still can't believe that happened. I just can't.
I didn't see nothing from her to just try to show that, hey, baby, this is not nothing. I didn't see no remorse on her face. I didn't see nothing from when they panned it to her. I didn't see anything. So I was like, it's like she's, and this is my own opinions and stuff, and it's like she's just I don't know. It's like she's in competition and happy, because she's hurting. Because we always said hurt people, and she just seemed like she's hurting and pain. And both of them. Well, you already said she went to counseling, so I don't know what else. I don't know what.
Well, her message to the world was, that's my man. Okay? That's my man. And look what he did for me.
Mm.
That was her message. That was her
Yeah,
message. That game that we're saying that we feel like she's playing has played him. That's just the caviar to
and I can
everything that we're
imagine.
talking about.
I can imagine what his mama said about her, because she probably
Oh
said,
my gosh.
I told you about this fool a long time ago, and you still messing with this joker, and you married this fool. I told you it was not going to work years ago.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I was like, that first wife looking very good about now.
Oh my
She didn't
gosh.
want the limelight. She let you shine, and that's sad. But I was like, everybody wants an image or to be away, and this is a cost of it. Is it worth the cost? You know, and we
Well,
don't know the first wife could not be better, may not have been better. I'm just saying, right about now, she's looking like, hey, that's what you wanted, that's what you got.
hmm
That's
Because
what's
even
right.
if she did something like that, we wouldn't have shone the light on her as hard. Because what is her name? I don't know her name. So,
Well, I know that story, but that's another story.
oh, okay. Well,
Uh-huh.
like I
But
said, the
from what I
black.
understand, she married another singer who's an outstanding singer. But I won't talk about that right now. We'll do that
Well,
another
grass is
day.
not greener on the other side. They both learning that.
You know what I mean?
You know, either talk it through or decide what you want to do, and I ain't gonna say divorce is okay, but I'm not saying divorce is okay, but when you're doing something like this over and over and over again, mm, you
Well, the
know,
thread is deep, and so
yeah,
where they are right now, oh my God! Because I mean, I just recently read something, but you know, you can't always believe what the media say or what paparazzi and all them say. I just read something last week that said that they were still on Rocky Road trying to figure out what to do, how to do it. But you know,
Well, I can imagine the road being rocky. Go look at their children. Their children is really rocky. They don't know where they at. From one moment they might be here, the next minute they might be in space. They don't know. And I
mm,
understand their
mm, mm,
children, and I knew millennial children have their mind and a goal of their own.
mm-hmm,
yeah.
yeah. Well,
I
I think we're literally in a state of shock.
right, right, yeah, and you
This
know,
didn't happen locally; it happened all over the world.
in other countries. I think Steve Harvey's like, I heard about it over here. I don't know where he's at right now. I was
Oh
listening
yeah,
on the morning show, but he put, and I ain't gonna even talk on that, but yeah, they was talking about it in different countries and stuff, and I was like, again, so my thing is, Will's face is being plastered. Why not Jada's? Because this wouldn't
absolutely,
happen if he wasn't taken up for Jada, and
absolutely.
so I just
She condoned his actions, so
right,
what he did, she was satisfied. It was
right.
like, yeah, she condoned everything he did.
It's like she trying to make him into a Tupac. He's not.
Yeah.
That's not his. That's not his personality. You know, he's a dork, but a loving dork. But he's a dork. You know, it did come across hard like that. You went. He's 6'3", and Chris Rock's like what, my height, and that's really that's hard in the paint. You slapped the little man.
Well, when he was coming up on the stage, you see Chris Rock's face. He was like, "Well, what is he doing?"
Yeah,
Like
like this ain't in the script.
this ain't well. Oh, hello. And then
Yeah,
all of a sudden, wham! But it got a reverb.
yeah, and everybody's like,
Mhm,
oh, clutch my pearls. Did that
mhm.
happen? Is this a stage? Is this a joke? Is this real? You know, so
Yeah.
yeah, it was yeah. And I just, like I said, I commend him because I was like, he was like talking, kept it, didn't skip a beat.
Well,
And
we
I did
probably
see
needed Wes in the room because he probably would have got up there and turned it out.
you needed somebody to take. Yeah, no, we didn't need Kanye because we didn't need two
No, we
people of
didn't need
color.
it. We didn't
Yeah,
need
we
it
didn't
because
need two
that
people of
whole
color
place would have
that
been
night.
turned
Yep,
out.
yep. And then it was like we're going back to right is right. and that's sad, but it took us a long time to start getting recognition. And wait a minute, wasn't Jada the same one saying I'm gonna boycott the Grammy? I mean, was it a Grammy? No, Oscars, because it was too white. And now they're showcasing your husband, and this is
Oh,
what you do.
what?
Remember
This
back,
was a
oh
couple
God,
years
let me look
ago.
it up. Um she wanted to boycott. I'm about to look it up. Give me a minute. She wanted to boycott the Grammys because it was too white, or it may not. Let me get what she was. Jada, the Oscars in 2016. Um, yeah, and Chris Rock roasted her about that. You know,
Wow.
yeah. See, so I'm
Oh,
just
so it
saying,
goes way back then.
right? But again, if Jada wasn't given the material, nobody could clown him. And she's the one who, and for that part, she stood. It was I'm gonna have to read on it before I say it was a good cause. And, we already knew that the Oscars was white, all white. So, my thing is, they did the BET Awards, and y'all don't show up for that. Not that it's black owned anymore, but when we was doing that, you didn't show up for that. So it's damn if you do, damn if you don't.
Yep.
That's
So
true.
we got to support what is recognized. What the people who are recognizing you should at least continue to show them love. And
Yeah. Absolutely.
we see that with the Soul Train. Nobody really wants to come up, but then again, the caliber of that has went down. But still, we cannot say, recognize us, and then when people, like when the Essen Awards and stuff, recognize people and people don't want to show up.
I
So
know.
we gotta support those who that support us or give us
Right.
shine, and thank them for that part. We've been saying that they haven't been there. That is nothing new. I mean, didn't and P Diddy spoke on that, saying
He
we need to
did.
yeah. See, so I was like, where was she at to stand behind him and give unite instead of ones or twosies doing it? They should just do it, unite and do it. And until they do something like that, that song, what song that you should know, when all the black singers sung it, that was unity. That was a cause that everybody paid attention to. They used the what show was that on when they did that song by Quincy Jones wrote it, because we was proud of that. We played it over and over, and I saw it come back on Facebook again. I was like, we don't get moments
Oh,
like that.
UNITY.
No, not unity.
Oh, we are the
When
world.
when all
We
the
are
guys
the
were singing.
world.
We are the world.
No,
We are the world.
no. That was black and white. This was all black. You should know when Quincy hold up.
I remember. I know what you talk about. When all the blacks got together and did
Yeah,
that song.
all the male artists sung.
Right.
They started
Right.
off with Tevin Campbell, little Tevin was singing, and DeBarge, El DeBarge, all that. And they was on I think it was the Grammys, and they sung that at the end, and that was something we still talk about. But now we don't unite like that no more. It's like, whoever feels like talking on it, it's like sporadic. We
Well,
know better.
unfortunately, the realization of all of that, to include, stepping outside the box, the Million Man March, the Million Women March, it's all for a moment.
Right.
Because as soon as they walk out of the studio, as soon as they came off of Washington D.C.'s grounds, we were right back to where we were 2 days prior. So where does the unity stay? I'm just saying, it's got to stay.
Right.
For us to progress, we've got to live what we're doing right now. And when we step outside the box, it's got to remain. It doesn't do that. We don't do that. It's just for the moment.
And we know we don't do that, but we haven't. Have we done better? I mean,
it feels good for the moment and you can get emotional and you do all those things that make you feel good, and you want to call everybody and just love everybody, and then all of a sudden, bam, when you wake up, what happened?
Or the results that we want doesn't happen as fast, and we don't keep it going. You know what I'm saying? We're like, oh, they didn't do this, so I'm done. We quick to say we're done, and then when people are getting tired, we just got to get better at lifting up each other. It's like, you're tired, let me carry the mantle a little bit.
That's true.
Yeah. So there's so many ways, and like I said, what could we do to help her as women to make this better? Because I'm disappointed in Jada, but I also want to look at the sides that how we can learn from her mishaps, because she's shown us a lot. But how can we learn and say, hey, this man is doing that, and we're not saying he's perfect or anything like that, but he's one of the ones that that people always want, and you got him, and yet it's like we don't know what's happening behind the scenes, but you show us, and then when we talk about it, you get mad. You talk about it, we get mad. So I was like, from what you're showing us, girl, I don't know. I was like, how do we do better? How do we do better? And are we at a point in life to where we're not going to do better? I mean, if I guess she doesn't have a role model. Everybody's so quick to say, well, I'm not like my mama and them. But what's wrong with being like your mama and them?
Well, what's the purpose of her show? Is her show to does her purpose of the show give good insight for her marriage or to us? I mean, you know what I'm saying? What is the purpose? I mean, I watched the show a couple of times. I don't know if I really learned or got anything from it.
Yeah, yeah. Because on that one, I was like, I watched it just to support because that was something she was doing, so I wanted to
Me
support.
too. Me
Right,
too.
but then I couldn't maintain a. I could not keep following it
Right.
after a while. It just
Because I
didn't hold
wasn't
my.
getting anything from it.
Right, right. Because I was like, okay, you talked about it, and what? What from this step, And
So
it's a lot.
all of that, just a 360-degree circle as to what happened to me, in my opinion, from last night. There's no substance. There's no support. It's all about me. That whole shenanigan right there. You
Right,
know, that
right.
to me, that's what it's so how do you get better when it's not even about taking care of my man? It's just about him doing the things that he needs to do in the spare of a moment, regardless of what it may be, to make sure I'm protected by all means necessary. I don't care what it is that he does. As long as he takes care of me, I'm good.
And is it really taking care of her, or is it more like I need some attention, so I'm going to act up?
Yeah, same. Yeah, exactly.
Be- Um,
Well,
because,
love make you do crazy things, and I guess that was just one of them things.
but what did she done crazy?
Huh?
What did she do crazy? That's all I want to know. I was like, we see what it's doing to him, and I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I
He
want that
loves
type of
her.
love.
He loves that woman. He's
Yeah,
gonna do whatever he can to protect her, I guess.
right. But what, like I said, I was like, we seen what like he said, love make you do crazy thing, but I ain't seen her act out of character.
I didn't see nothing he had to protect to go up there and slap the man in the face. I
Oh
didn't
no,
Absolutely.
see
no, yeah, that's right. That too,
Absolutely.
that too,
nothing.
I ain't,
that too.
I
Nothing
ain't
at
seen
all.
nothing either. Nothing.
That was
Nothing.
something she could have just shook off, like I said earlier, and just, played it off because they know he's a comedian and it didn't have to go that far.
And he could have told him, man, I don't appreciate you doing that. Don't do that no more. Don't One thing I don't want you to do, talk about my wife. Don't do that.
Mine in front of all these people.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
because now
Yeah.
now you got to pay. They're gonna make an example, and I was like, when they make that example, what?
So it's almost now like how when somebody pop you upside the head for doing something, and
Yeah,
now you don't have the strength to do it again. Sometimes you just do it over and over again. I got a better example. If you're on the like one time when I was pitching, and then my coach told me that I was taking too long to get the ball out of my hand across the base. After he did that, he messed up my whole thing. You know what I mean? I couldn't focus anymore. I couldn't pitch anymore. You know what I'm saying? So now what happens with him? He's thrown off base. He's thrown off guard now. How does he come back after this? Does he just say, oh shoot, man, I apologize. I can't I apologize for what I did. Y'all forgive me. And then just keep moving and people just keep giving him roles? Or is there some type of punishment for it? Because if he keep going, he's gonna keep doing what he does.
right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Does that make sense though? Now that he's gotten off base, how does he come back?
right, right. Because like it's like you don't. Which base do you go to? Because you're in the middle, going back and forth, back and forth.
Right, right,
Home is
right,
not safe because you're not protecting me there, and then the public is tearing me down. So you got the society, and then you got home. And do you really feel comforted at home right about now? Because
right.
you know, how does he cry on her shoulder? How does she?
What's the conversation like?
Right, a fly on the wall for that one right there. You
Right,
know, because and
right.
how do you, and do you humble yourself to him and say, "Baby, I mean, I would like to know that whole dynamic because she is stoic out in public. I don't see no that eye rolling thing was, and then when she's on the red table talk, but when she was on the red table and talk about their stuff, it was like she was defiant, not like it's like this is what you won't doing for me, you know.
Well, maybe she'll make it a subject and talk about it on the red tabletop.
Well, I ain't gonna follow that part. I know, and I was wondering that too, but I was like, I don't want to hear it because when you
It'll
need
be
to be
years.
free,
It'll be years later. It won't be. It won't be like tomorrow night.
I think if more people probably start saying, what is her accountability, she would speak up on it. But as long as she can hide behind him, no, you're right. It'll be years when she write a book, you know.
Oh my
Is
God.
he writing a book? Is he writing a book? Let me see if Will's
I
writing a book.
thought he was writing a book or just wrote one. My whole take on it is he's stuck in the movie. He's still stuck in the movie. And I know we saying it's her, but he's still stuck in the movie.
In June of 2021, it said he will reveal the title and cover of his upcoming I can't even get that word out.
Autobiography. When is that?
I was trying to see when it was. They announced it in 2021, but it doesn't say.
I thought I saw that on a documentary about him. They did some documentary
It's
on
going to be
him.
called Will, but I don't see
When the release?
Oh, it said the book is to be published November 9th and was listed today as Amazon #1 bestseller. Oh, okay, that one's written. Okay, so
Yeah.
it's co-writing a book with another author, and the cover is designed by New Orleans artist and the former Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, called the Book of Labor of Love. He said he's been working for that one for 2 years. So, like I said, all this is coming in, and like I said, we'll what's the comedian? Chris Rock's tour is coming out, so that's some feedback he will be able to use. Right about now, I sure wished it would have been Dave Chappelle up there, because I was like 6'3" and 6'3", and he got a little, he got some weight on him. I don't think that would have. And then again, Dave Chappelle, I don't know, because he speaks his mind. I would have loved to see that part.
Oh, girl, Dave Chappelle is off the chain.
I was like, yeah, let's see, yeah.
Yeah, I
You
still
ain't gonna
feel.
cancel me. I'm gonna stop talking. I'm
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. Because I was like, yeah. So, well, ladies, I think we beat a dead horse. We can't keep beating it on it no more. We done talked on it, around it, and through it. But I enjoyed this. I like to do more. As topics, not on every little thing, but as things come about, give our from a woman's perspective on it. That would be a nice little series.
I think so.
Yeah. We just talk on things that we think needs to be addressed and learned, because we have 2 seasoned married ladies and 2 single women. So, we can give our feedback, and we don't have to talk about dating, because everybody talks about how hard that is. So y'all lucky y'all booed up.
Wow.
Hey, it's hard. DRH, ain't that hard?
Of course it is. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you ever hear her stories, I'll be rolling.
Well,
Yeah.
it's all good. It's everything is a lesson to learn,
Right.
has a lesson to learn, whether
Right.
you married or single. And I always say, marriage is a university. You just got to keep getting them A, B, C, D's, and sometimes you get some F's, girl. So you got to keep it moving.
Yeah. And I was like, at what stage do you flunk out? And you don't have to flunk out. I mean, you shouldn't flunk out. I don't want nobody to flunk out. I like to see that Black love and unified, and you know,
That's a
I
good
love to see.
question, though. That's a really, really good question. A really good question. And another topic.
Okay, so that's what we'll look at. You know, so
When
on
do
that
you
note,
flunk out? When do you
yeah,
flunk
when
out?
because I was like, yeah, you're right. We can get some more to speak on that, of what they've been through and what they learned from it. Because I don't want to be what I'm not going to do is tear down to tear down a man, or he didn't do this. What did you do to help aid in that? Because
Absolutely.
before you can point a finger, you got to look at what you're doing to have him react like that. Or what we don't do is, when you see the signs blatantly that that's not the one for you, but you trying to make it be the one for you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So
hard right there.
yeah,
That's
we
good.
we
Yes.
we have to look at all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I had to look at it. It hurts when that mirror is looking back at you. It
Mm-hmm.
hurts. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're gonna deal with it, you gotta look at you to say, okay, what did I do to that, to aid to that? You know,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely.
because now I said nobody knows how to be that loving comfort, and then when you do get it, they don't appreciate it. It's like I don't know. That's another topic. I don't want to go off. We done talked about that'd be the next topic that we're going to go on to. So on that one, we're going to call it a night. We did it at an hour, a little bit over an hour. So that was some good feedback. So
I enjoyed it. It was fun.
Yeah, it
and
really
it's
was.
current. Yeah.
So thank you, Sam. Thank you, Baby Doll and DRH. I look forward to talking with y'all again. Same bat time, same bat place.
All right.
Thank you, True Silver.
Good night.
Look, before you say it, don't forget to leave your comments at what and with who. Chat it up with True Silver. Thank you.
All right.
Good
All right.
night.
Good night.
Good night.